Hello, you're watching Addleshaw Goddard's Employment Channel on the 23rd of February 2012. From October this year, the pension's auto-enrolment duty will begin to take effect, and employers will automatically have to enrol their workers into a pension scheme to avoid significant financial penalties. There's been a number of revisions to the timetable for implementation of the obligations since our introductory programme on this topic in October last year. And Tom Taylor, an associate in our pensions team, is going to discuss these in today's news programme. Most employers will be relying at least in part on third-party providers such as payroll system developers to comply with their auto-enrolment duties. Tom will also provide some useful hints and tips for employers when dealing with third-party providers to minimise the risk of claims in the event of breaches of the auto-enrolment rules.
On the 25th of January, the Department for Work and Pensions announced some postponements in relation to the automatic enrolment regime. The key postponements are very good news for medium-sized employers. We're talking here about employers with 250 or fewer employees in their PAYE scheme. The postponements mean that these employers will have later start dates for the automatic enrolment regime kicking in than they previously would have done. For some of these employers, it can mean that their start date is up to 9 months later than it would have otherwise been. The 1st of April 2017 is now the final date by which automatic enrolment applies to all existing employers. The start dates for larger employers remain unchanged. As you may remember, start dates for automatic enrolment are determined by PAYE scheme size as at 1st of April this year. For instance, the first tranche of employers to whom automatic enrolment will apply are employers with over 120,000 employees. This requirement will kick in from the 1st of October 2012. The smaller the size of the PAYE scheme, the later the staging date. For employers with 50,000 to up to 120,000 employees in their PAYE scheme, the automatic enrolment date will be 1 month later, so that's the 1st of November 2012. These staging dates steadily get later depending on the size of the PAYE scheme. For instance, employers with between 10,000 and 50,000 employees in their schemes will have staging dates of up to as late as the 1st of March 2013. Employers who have between 800 and 10,000 employees in their PAYE scheme will have staging dates of up to the 1st of October 2013. The postponement of the staging dates for medium-sized employers means that these employers get the benefit of not having to pay the automatic enrolment contributions as soon as they otherwise would have done, but it also means that for larger employers, plans that they've started to put in place don't have to be changed. There's been more good news coming out of the postponement announcement for all employers' budgets. The minimum employer contribution under the automatic enrolment regime is going to go up to 3% of an employee's qualifying earnings. This was due to happen by the 1st of October 2017. However, this has now been put back to the 1st of October 2018, which gives finance directors a bit of relief when planning their budgets. It's now also proposed that the shift from 1% to 2% of qualifying earnings will take place on the 1st of October 2017 rather than the 1st of October 2016. This helps to postpone the full financial impact of the reforms. As I've already said, the first automatic enrolment staging dates in the compulsory regime start from October this year. The employers that will be caught by this deadline and employers who have later staging dates are starting to look to manage the process and work out how they're going to adapt existing payroll and human resources systems to cope. Most employers will be needing to outsource some of the work involved to a third-party provider. This is going to involve them putting compliance with their legal obligations in the hands of a third party. One of the things that we can help with is considering the key terms of the contract that sets out this outsourcing, particularly in relation to breaches. The first thing that we'd look at is whether there's an existing contract in place covering pension arrangements with a third party. For employers who run access to a group personal pension scheme, there may not be a contract. One of the things to consider is the key performance indicators that the employer is looking to have assured by the third-party provider. You need to make sure that any responsibilities are properly allocated between your in-house payroll team and the third-party provider, so it's clear at each stage who's supposed to be doing what and who's supposed to be providing what information. The employer has certain data protection responsibilities that it will want to make sure that the contract covers. As well as setting out who does what, the employer will need to look at any liability cap that the provider is trying to insert into the contract. There's also a need to review the terms of the contract that will apply on termination. Not only do you need to look at circumstances in which the contract can be terminated, you also need to make sure that the contract covers any handover procedure that you want in place. One key point to consider when looking at all this contractual documentation is that these legal duties are going to apply to employers, no matter whether they have a contract in place with a third party or not. Employers will find that their bargaining power is significantly reduced when it comes to a stage very close to the date that their automatic enrolment obligations kick in. To get the best value out of these kind of negotiations, it's best to start negotiations early. The closer you are to the legal deadline applying, the more the provider will be able to push back on any request you have to change the contractual documentation.
Thanks, Tom. If you have any queries at all in relation to this topic, please do not hesitate to contact us, either through your usual Addleshaw Goddard contact, by contacting Tom direct using the contact details below, or by clicking on the Contact Us box to the right of the screen. So that's all for today from Addleshaw Goddard's Employment Channel. Thank you for watching and goodbye.